Do you feel like you're powerless and unheard, even though you have the skills, expertise to truly make a difference? If you're ready to take your leadership game to the next level and make a massive, and I do mean massive impact on your projects, to your team, as well as your career, then you need to listen to today's episode. Do you mind if I share a story with you? I remember the first time I got in my project management role and I'm like, okay, I'm the leader of this team and I'm going to lead this team to the promised land. And we get in our first meeting and I'm talking with one of the stakeholders. The stakeholder says, "You're not my boss. I don't report to you. I don't have to listen to you." Now, keep in mind, family, this is in front of the whole team, and I'm like, I'm caught off guard because I'm trying to figure out. Matter of fact, I am trying to. I'm really. If they could have just looked inside my head, it just could have been like steam brewing out at the top of my head because I was really confused. I am here to support. I am here to be a servant leader. I am here to make sure you have the success that you signed up for to be part of this project. And so, what I learned in that moment, in that instant, is that I couldn't take that personal because I did not earn that stakeholder's trust. So, in today's episode entitled, Not in Charge, but Still Required to Lead, in project management. Again, not in charge, but still required to lead in project management. If you're new to the episode, I go by the name of ED. I have an 8-point framework, and these 8 points, my goal, my mission, my job today is to unpack today's title. So let's get into the framework, family. First point, point number one, understand your role and influence. Oh, this is huge. Like, message, like, if you don't get anything else from this video, there's going to be 3 things here today that you need to take away to be able to ensure that your team understands that you have their back. That your team needs to understand that you need to be an influence. What is an influence, ED? Well, I'm glad you asked. An influence is not saying you need to do it my way or the highway. No, an influence is simply saying that I'm going to show you through what I can do through leadership, what I can do through my work ethic, what I can do through who I am as a person, that I care about you, and I'm going to show you that I care about you and not just use lip service. This is influence. And then you have to have the impact. And by having that impact of stepping up to the plate. So what you're going to have to do, especially if they're not giving you that formal recognition, is that you're going to have to clearly define your role and responsibilities within the project. Let me slow that down because that may have missed you. Clearly define your role and responsibility within a project. Some of us, we call that a RACI matrix. What does a RACI stand for? Responsible, accountable, consult. What is the other one? Support or inform. Listen, family, the importance of having not even just a RACI document, that is important, but it's also important to ensure that you clearly have a really defined role. What are you going to do? What you're saying here is, what are the expectations? What are you expecting of me, and what can I expect of you? All right, let's do that. Let's move on to point number 2, communicate effectively. Listen, one of the things we have to work on, especially as leaders in this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management, is having the ability to use clear, concise, and persuasive. Now, I know some people are thinking, persuasive with you, a swindler? What are you? No, no, no. When I use the terminology persuasive communication, is helping move the team along, really challenging their mindset of saying, I know what you're thinking, but I've been here before. Just follow me and allow me to lead you in the best possible way. Here's something that I definitely recommend. This is a document or an artifact that you should use. I want to give you an actionable plan. Develop a communication plan that outlines the messaging, the channels, frequency, as well as how we're going to engage with the team. And the biggest tip of all that I could give here is practice active listening. My grandma will always say, boy, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. I don't even know what I could say more on that. Let's move on to point number 3. One thing about project management, in anything, especially even in business, you have to have the ability to build strong relationship, which takes us to point number 3. when you're working on these projects, take the time out. I always tell, especially new project managers, hey, take the time out to have a conversation with some of your stakeholders to get to know them, because this is building that rapport. This is actually building that strong relationship. And say, hey, you know what, I want to meet with you, and tell them the purpose. Hey, reason why I wanted to meet with you, I don't want to talk about the project. I just want to get to know you because I want to know the team that I'm working with, and I want you to get to know me, so that way we can build a relationship. And so invest time and effort in building, watch this family, a positive and productive relationship with team members, stakeholders, as well as the project leaders. Here's an actionable step. As I shared with you, schedule meetings. Schedule a regular one-on-one meeting with team members and stakeholders to get to know them, so you can understand their real needs and concerns and offer supportive guidance. This is how I would structure that call. If I only have, it depends on how many stakeholders I have too. So for the case of this, let's say I have 10 stakeholders. Maybe I'll do something like a 30-minute call with each stakeholder. So the first 15 minutes, we'll talk about something personal, like, hey, what did you do this weekend, or what book are you reading? Then the next 15 minutes we'll talk about the actual project. What are your needs? What are your expectations? What were you hoping that the project would go right? What are some blind spots that I'm missing that I can help support you guys on? So this is a definitely good way to build a strong relationship in the project. Point number 4: facilitate collaboration. Message: you already know how I feel about collaboration. I truly believe that if you want to have a successful project, if you want to be successful in leading projects as a project manager, you have to foster the ability to collaborate. You have to build a team that's inclusive. What does inclusive mean? Unpack that for me, ED. Inclusive meaning that, hey guys, it's us against them. Inclusive means that we're working together as one. There are no more silos. There's no more, unless you're going to go work on something that with that group to be, like if it's a technical matter or something. But after you work that out, you bring all of that back to the team. Once you come with a resolution, don't start creating. And see, this is why I'm big on big on collaborations, and I dislike silos, is because you make it harder for the team and to help you. Because if you're going in a silo environment and not coming back and saying, hey, these are some of the things that we were thinking of, and allowing the team to poke holes at it to say, did you think of this? This will make your solution even better. I don't know why people don't think about that. Maybe it's just me. But listen, here's an actionable step: organize some team building activities. Sort of like, you could even do brainstorming sessions, cross functional meetings to encourage collaboration and ideal sharing. And let me park here parenthetically, because I know we have some ideal people that love to kill your ideals. They like to shoot down your ideals. But listen, the importance of being able to have ideal sharing is simply saying that even though you give an idea, it may not go through, but I'm going to document it because we may be able to use this for another project. So think about that, family. Don't always jump so fast to kill an idea without allowing a person to articulate it out, and even to go and experiment with this, see if it'll work. But that's a whole nother path, and I'm trying to stay focused here, so we'll see what happens. Point number 5: message: be a problem solver. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, family. There's been stakeholders that I work with, and I understand you're frustrated. I understand that you had a certain expectation when you came aboard on this project. And for some odd reason, whoever the project manager was before me was not delivering on what your expectation, on what you guys aligned on and agreed upon. So you need to, what you want to be able to do is become a problem solver. What is a problem solver? A problem solver, and this is ED's definition, is the ability to proactively identify as well as address project challenges, risks, opportunities, even if it falls outside your formal responsibility. I know I'm gonna get in trouble for that, because I got in trouble before when I talked about being a servant leader, of saying just stepping in and doing the role. There, someone said, "Hey, well, they need to pay you extra money." You're right, they should, but what if they don't? What are we gonna do then? Think about that. So again, if there's, you want to be able to step in and be proactive instead of reactive. One of the things I really like doing is, here's an actionable step. You can take it. You can steal my homework, as Cody says. Regularly assess the project status and identify any potential problems, opportunities, and develop a creative and practical solution to address them. I love doing that because the reason why I love doing it is because if I'm proactive and now the issue has hit, let's talk project management term. Now the risk has flipped and turned into an issue. Let's park real quick. A risk is something that has not happened. An issue is it's happening and it's going on. So what are we going to do about it? Just think if you were already ahead of that, you were being proactive versus reactive. Let's move on to point number 6. Message. I told you there were going to be a lot of messages in here. Advocate for the team. Family, listen. The ability to advocate for your team. I already know I got some people out there, and this is why I love doing what I do here. Is thinking, well, what do you mean advocate for the team? Saying how good they are? No, 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 no. That's part of it. But having the ability to champion the team when they're doing well and champion the team on their accomplishments, champion the team upward to upward management, even to their managers. One of the things I used to do and still do is especially when I have a stakeholder that's proactive, that they bring great energy to our meetings and our when we're in the meetings, it's moving so smoothly that I have to look up like, hey, we've been here for an hour because it's so informational and it's something that we take and we use right away. And so what I have done is I personally reached out to that manager. I was like, hey, you really got a great resource. This guy, Michael, he really, every time he comes to the meeting, he's passionate, he's prepared, he's ready to talk about his piece. He's also helping out other teammates. He's all about the collaborative versus the silo approach. So something that he learned of what he that worked for him, he comes back and shares it with the team instead of keeping it to himself because he understands the importance of the collaborative approach. So that is huge, family. When you can advocate for your team is going to want to go to bat for you. Matter of fact, you may look up and they're looking for you to be the project manager. They may try to assign a project manager like, hey, we don't want that person. We want to work with ED. We want to work with you out there, family. And that's what you want. You want to advocate for your team so hard that they anytime when a new project comes is actually set in place, they're looking for you like, hey, we want this guy to lead the project. We want this girl to lead the project. Here's an actionable step. Regularly communicate the team progress, challenges, and success to upper management and other stakeholders while you're seeking support as well as resources needed. Point number 7, you already know I couldn't leave you without talking about conflict. Say what? We're talking about conflict. Manage conflicts constructively. That's a big word, constructively. What does constructively mean? It means not saying you're the reason why we're doing bad. No, 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 no. That may be true, but there's a approach. There is a I think it's a diplomatic approach to addressing someone openly or even privately. First of all, this is an actionable step that I would recommend. Develop a process for identifying, discussing, and resolving conflicts. So you can train the team members how to effectively handle conflict situations and leveraging conflict resolution techniques. One of the biggest thing is that I feel that what happens a lot of times, or why conflicts just boil out of proportion, is because we can't. When you're in a team, if you can't have open and honest communication, while the person you're being open with the communication, they're practicing active listening. I've seen every time that they don't want to practice active listening, don't want to take an opportunity to understand where you were coming from. And you can always respond and say, hey, no, that's not how I meant it. I apologize. What I meant by it was this. And then you'd be surprised that the person that's feeling that way was like, oh, I didn't know you meant it like that. Okay, well, great. Because again, there's many times where you could read an email, you could read a message, whether through text message, you can hear a voicemail message until the person gives more proper context and you get a chance to ask the right questions, or I should say probing questions like, hey, what do you mean by that when you said that? This is open conversation. We are being open about, because I want to understand. I don't want to misconstrue that you're saying something that truly is not of you and that you truly didn't mean. Because it's definitely been beneficial to both sides. All right, point number 8, lead by asking questions. You always hear me talk about thought-provoking questions. Listen, family, the ability, one of the things I used to do, I don't do anymore, I might have to get back to. I used to prepare a list of open ended questions. Don't judge me. The only reason why I did this is because I wanted to get better at asking open ended questions where it just wasn't a yes or no. It was, I'm asking you, so how did you go about doing X? And it forced a conversation. It forced me to really see how they critically think through a particular issue or problem. All right, family, let's move on to my bonus for you. I have one today, and it's very simple. To be a part of this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management, the bonus today is be a continuous learner. Continue to seek out new knowledge, skills. Watch these episodes over and over again. Send them to your friends, your cousin, your uncle, and them. Because reason why I say that is that it's important to set aside dedicated time for learning. But wait, just don't learn. When you learn, go and apply what you learn. Go and experiment with what you learn to see if it actually works. A lot of times people will get all of this knowledge, they build up, I'm gonna do it, and they spend and they write out this massive plan and then they don't execute on it. And so it's up to you, family, is that you go ahead and apply what you're learning. Be a continuous learner, but work through it. Get on, get on, create a podcast. If you don't like to be in front of the camera, do blogs, but share your experiences. And this entail is going to allow you to recall the information. It's going to help you better as a project manager. I have three closing remarks, family, and I won't keep you no longer. I appreciate you taking the time today. If you like, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think today. If there's a video that you're looking or an episode that you're looking for me to create around personal development and project management, please reach out. I'm here to serve. Here's the three closing remarks. Be a problem solver. I can't say that enough. Having the ability to be really proactive and identifying and addressing the actual problem so it doesn't get out of hand, uh, your team is going to really turn and look to you. Point number two, having the ability to build strong relationships. One of the things I told you, I gave you an example of schedule one-on-ones with some of your stakeholders if it's not a huge, a lot of, a humongous amount of stakeholders, but if you have the bandwidth, do it. I really think it's going to help you. No, no, no. I know it's going to help you on your project. Like I said, schedule a 30-minute call with them. First 15 minutes, let's talk something personal. Last 15 minutes, let's talk about the actual project. And the last and final one, family, the one that I really believe is what gets you to what really helps garner the trust between you and the team is the ability to advocate for the team, being a champion of their needs, being a champion of their interests, being a champion of the accomplishments that they've done, and not just keeping it within the team, making sure that the upper management knows, letting other project teams know this is how you represent for a team that comes and plays all out, as they would say, that is obsessed with ensuring that we are doing the right things on the project to have the success that we all agreed upon. Family, I truly hope you enjoyed today's episode. I really enjoy making it. Until next time, you know my motto, you know my slogan. If you don't, I'm out.